Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast, where Nicole and Ashley discuss Black film, music, and television. Today we are reviewing Madea's Homecoming on Netflix, and I think we had a pretty good conversation, not only about the movie, but also about Tyler Perry in general. So let's get into it.
How many Madea movies have you seen? And I'm not counting the stage plays. How many Madea movies?
Oh, you mean like Madea? Okay, what Madea in the movie?
Yes.
Okay, the first one.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
And that might be it.
That's not true.
Name the other ones.
Madea Goes to Jail.
Who else was in it?
Rudy Huxtable.
Oh, she was a prostitute?
Yeah.
That one?
And Antoine Fisher, whose real name is Derek Luke, but it's Antoine Fisher forever.
Yes, I saw that.
And did you see Madea's Family Reunion?
Okay, who else is in that one?
Cicely Tyson is in that one.
She in all of them.
And who? Yeah, she is. So this is
that the one with Chloe Bailey was Angela Bassett's daughter?
No, that's Meet the Browns. You really have not seen these movies. There's kind of like a commonality between within the movies. They kind of follow
I don't know the names. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you have seen all of the early work. See, I didn't really watch any of the Boo movies.
The Halloween stuff?
Yeah, I didn't watch.
Nah.
I didn't see the most recent, like a Madea Family Funeral. I didn't see the Witness Protection movies, but I saw Madea's Family Reunion, Madea's Big Happy Family, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and Madea Goes to Jail.
What's the one with Keke Palmer when she was a kid?
That is Family Reunion.
Oh, it's the same one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I've been seeing bits and pieces. Yeah. I just don't think I'm like sitting down and watching the whole thing through to like, I can't tell you the plot of everything. Like, I don't know them that well, but if I see it, I recognize it.
Do you want to run us down the plot of this one?
How would we describe the plot? It's based on Beyonce's Netflix documentary.
Is it?
Kinda. Well, towards the end.
That's them Greek letters and the end. That's the only thing that I can see. Basically, Tim.
But I guess the homecoming was the college coming home.
Sure. When I think of the concept of homecoming, I think of people returning to college,
But he was just going to college.
He was graduating from college, and he is the valedictorian, and his friend Davi.
That's right.
Is his roommate, his best friend, and he's also graduating. And there's a little bit of age difference between the two. We learn very quickly Davi's lineage. It's just offered to us via dialogue. Okay, and so they're returning to Tim's home to celebrate the graduation. His mother and her best friend, everyone is coming like to Madea's house because they couldn't. Where does Cora live? Just answer that.
Okay, so the thing that kind of confused me is that a lot of these characters are in all the Madea movies, like Cora and Brown, and even what's the other lady's, the brown skin woman's name?
Bam, Aunt Bam, mm-hmm. And Uncle Joe.
Okay,
they are all.
Well, Uncle Joe is Tyler Perry. I'm talking about the people that's not.
The
actors.
Yes.
So those three are I know they're in all his movies.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't get was if their characters were consistent. Like, I know Cora is Madea's daughter.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have, I'm gonna call her Gabrielle Dennis, was her daughter.
Yes.
I didn't know Gabrielle Dennis was Cora's daughter until this movie.
Because
was she her daughter in any other movie?
No.
Okay.
No. So that's what they'll play around with. Bam, who I believe is Madea's cousin. Bam is Madea's cousin. Cora is the daughter. Uncle Joe is the brother. Brown is, Medea's.
Yeah, who is Brown in this universe?
Cora's father, but when they went on the Maury show,
husband or ex,
they were never together. They were never together, but I don't know the situation as it relates to Brown and Madea. But okay. I'm assuming they were intimate at least once because
and he's still around.
And he's still around, even though he's not Cora's actual biological father. But he was calling Tim his great grandson, so that's what doesn't make sense. Well, I get that.
I can see that. Okay, you've been in this family, you've raised them. Those are your kids, even if they're not biologically yours. You raised them, so those are your kids. I get that part. I'm just stuck on are they just friends?
I think Madea he's around because Brown. Cora is going to be around. It definitely seems like Brown and Uncle Joe are friends. Okay. It seems like they're cool, but Brown is just going to be a character who he's around. He's just around, especially if Cora is going to be there.
Yeah, that always confused me. Every time I see this movie, I'm like, okay, now wait a minute. Who is who?
Yeah, the kids always change. Even in Medea's Big Happy Family, Loretta Devine, I'm like, how are they related to, how is she related to Madea? Right. And then we'll see these people, we'll see Bow Wow, we'll see Lauren London, and they're in the film, but they don't return. So yeah, Tyler Perry has his stable folk, and then that's it.
It's like the kids and the grandkids always friends, because in this movie, Cora had two daughters. She had the police officer was her other daughter, right? Mm-hmm. And Gabrielle Dennis.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I thought in Medea's Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Tyler Perry, like, he didn't play himself, but he wasn't in any makeup or anything like that. I thought he played Cora's son. Am I missing things? Like, I don't know. The point that I'm trying to make is, it's like those Chevy Chase movies, those National Lampoon Vacation movies, where the kids would always change, but there will always be a son and a daughter. That's one thing that never changed. The kids would change in every single movie. The mother and the father would stay the same, but the kids would change in every single movie. And so that constant change, you felt comfortable with it. It was easier to take because you knew it was going to change and you knew how it was going to change. It wasn't all of a sudden two twin boys or, two girls. It was always going to be a girl and a boy. With this, I'm like, who are these people?
Exactly.
What are they, why should I care about them? What's going on? Tim wants to announce his homosexuality to his family. The film flirts with the idea that Tim and Davi are together.
Yeah.
You want to believe that. Did you think that?
I did in the beginning.
I thought that too. I was listening to the read and they were like, I didn't think that for 1 second because they didn't act like a couple.
And I mean, but what do a couple act like especially when you go into the other person's family's house for the first time? You're not.
Well, I'm not going to be on. There are times when they're alone, like when they're in the car, they didn't necessarily seem like a couple. Now, am I going to be all on top of my boyfriend while he's driving? No, but there will be some physical interaction that just wasn't there. I thought that the reason why they didn't feel like a couple was because perhaps he was at home, so he didn't want to, and he wasn't out to his family yet. So he wasn't. There wasn't going to be much interaction.
Holding hands but I wouldn't do that anyway. Like if I'm meeting someone's family for the first time, I'm not really.
You're not going to be
all up on you like that.
Absolutely, but also I felt like, is Tyler Perry brave enough to show any type of homoeroticism in his films?
Like them being romantic with each other
Yes, any type of intimacy
or
that doesn't,
affectionate.
yeah, like I don't see that happening in a Tyler Perry film. Not that it
Well,
has to.
I would say probably not, because his films are more comedy.
Yeah,
Like, when do you see a lot of affectionate romance in a typical comedy?
I see it all the time. Like in every movie, like in any rom-com or in any just
No, not romantic comedy, just comedy.
all the time. Like I see it in like what is a comedic film that like name a comedic film that's not
The first
romantic
thing that
comedy.
comes to mind is like 40-Year-Old Virgin, but that was about him trying to,
Right.
I wouldn't call
So,
that being, he wasn't, that's not like affectionate. That's just
well,
him
what about Rada
trying.
Blank? Rada Blank's 40-year-old version. Like
I
I
don't know if that's
see
a comedy though.
it's a comedy to me. Like it's more
I mean, it
comedy
had
than
funny
anything
parts,
else.
but okay.
It's not a drama. Like it's not it's more
No.
drama-y, but I mean in Insecure there's like romantic stuff going
Well,
on.
Insecure is about relationships and period.
I think that Insecure is more about the relationships between the women as opposed to the
True.
so I just feel what I think that in all comedies there is more than likely going to be some romantic involvement. I don't think it has anything to do with this being a comedy. I think it has something to do with Tyler Perry understanding his audience
His
and
audience,
understanding
true.
what they want to see. And I think that his core audience, his loyal audience, they don't mind knowing someone is gay. They
But they
don't
don't
want
want
to
to see them
see gay
kissing and
men.
hugged up. Yeah.
That's what I think.
No, that's true. So the plot is, we have, what's the main guy's name?
Tim.
Tim. Tim is graduating from college, and the family, everybody, Madea and crew, are having a celebration at Madea's house for him graduating college. And Tim shows up with his roommate, Davi, who people are suspecting that, well, some people, mainly Uncle Joe, are suspecting that they are more than just roommates. But it's about them, well, really Davi meeting the family and Tim coming to his family's home to have a celebration, graduation celebration.
Yes.
And some of the drama comes because we learn that Tim's father and mother are not together. Well, they're divorced. And so the first drama is, well, is the dad coming to the celebration? And his
Yeah.
mom was like, well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's his dad. You know, he should be there. Medea's like, no. But the dad shows up. And then, listen, this movie had more twists and turns than a freaking
Emotional roller
telenovela.
coaster.
Like, no, at some point I was just like, now.
I can't take it.
You know what? I was thinking Tyler Perry, when he traces his ancestors, it must go back to Nigeria, because them Nollywood movies and his movies are very
We
similar.
have got to start reviewing some Nollywood. That's number one.
Because I see it now. I'm like, okay, this is a thing. It's like, wow. The twists and turns, and it's and some of them Spanish movies too, like them telenovelas. It's like, okay, where y'all have common ancestry.
So
like, y'all have a common ancestor.
So before we meet the ex-husband, we know that the divorce was rocky, and we know that her best friend Sylvia helped her gather what little resources she could, because it seemed like in the divorce he made out like he was financially fine. She took a hit in terms of like the specifics of the divorce. We don't necessarily know, but we know that she did not come out on top there. And there wasn't anything equal there. You know, it was pretty bad on her end. And we know that her best friend Sylvia is the one who represented her.
She
And
was the lawyer.
And so so the first twist, do you want to just get the twist out of the way and then talk about it, or do you want to like?
Yeah, so we find out that the ex-husband is about to marry the best friend.
And we learned that when Tim tells his family that he is gay. And what we also know is that everyone already knew that. Which that little twist, I wasn't shocked that. I'm like, his family probably knows that he's not straight, but so
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So throughout the beginning of the movie, we know that Davi has some type of beef with Tim's dad. What did you think that beef was before the second twist happened?
Well, I thought that was a part of his romantic love for Tim. Like I was like, he loves this man and he is upset that, like if you're with someone and they have a parent that is just not doing what they supposed, or if they have anybody, a sibling, a neighbor, a coworker, you end up disliking that person.
But he was going a little bit too hard, because at one point I was just like,
and I'm not gonna lie,
I get that's his dad, but why is that your business? He was just like, your dad, if I see your dad, I'm going, I don't know if I can control myself. I'm like, okay.
It didn't really make sense to me, but I thought that it was, I'm in a relationship with you, and I thought it was like hot-tempered man, like somebody who just doesn't know how to control themselves. So I was completely shocked when we find out that Davi is dating Tim's mom, Laura. Completely.
Mm-hmm. And now we know why he hates the daddy so much.
Yes. Can we talk about things that don't make sense?
Yes.
This episode is going to be so all over the place, and I apologize, y'all. But y'all done seen it. Y'all have seen the movie. We ain't got time. When Davi and Richard are fighting at the barbecue, the daughter, Ellie, just doesn't do anything. I thought she was a cop. I thought she was a cop. Is she not a cop? Did she forget to be a cop? Because Davi wasn't winning the fight for most of the fight. So I could see if it's like Davi was tagging at it. You know what I'm saying? I could see if that was the case, and she was like, I'm gonna let it happen. I ain't about to say nothing. But she just doesn't do anything. The entire like Black Lives Matter conversation that is happening in this film doesn't make sense to me.
Why?
I think that the conversation about like defunding the police or even abolishing the police is way too nuanced for these quick conversations that we're having in this movie. What else didn't make no sense? Tim's loyalty to his father makes sense, but him being so upset with Davi and so upset with his mother that they've been carrying on this relationship, but he just has no feelings as it relates to Richard about to marry Sylvia, his mom's best friend.
I can kind of understand that.
Because he's a boy?
No.
Okay.
Because he knows he probably doesn't expect much from his dad. Like whatever happened between his mom and his dad is like, okay. And whatever he saw as a kid between his mom and his dad, he probably has this image like, dad isn't the best. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like, I kind of expect that, like, but mom on the other hand is like, really, like of all people, mom, like you're supposed to be mom.
That makes so much sense. And I feel like that would have been such an interesting storyline to follow. Because I wanted to see those conversations happen. I wanted to see like how are we moving to a place of forgiveness with Tim? How does he just immediately forgive Davi and his mom? Why is she not upset with her son? That, because say what you want, like as mature as we like to be, I can see some parents being upset with their children that they have not taken sides.
You want the mom to take, okay, you want Tim to take his mom's side.
I want Laura to be more honest with her disappointment in her son for wanting him to come to the graduation, for wanting to come to the graduation celebration at Madea's house.
Okay.
For telling his father to come, knowing he with this lady and saying, "Oh, I asked my father to be here. He said he had to bring her." Don't you think that you should have told your mom that? Why should that be a surprise to her?
Yeah, that's tricky.
All of this is happening after, because he didn't know that Tim didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad was with the mom's
he
best
didn't know
friend.
that, and he knew that it hurt his mom. When they broke that information, Tim was like, "Oh, mom, I'm so sorry," and that was it. But you gonna invite this man who just disrespected your whole family, and he gonna tell you, "I have to bring my fiance."
Yeah, I gotta bring her,
and you say nothing to no one.
I'll be more mad at the friend for coming, because you don't have to be here. I get that's his daddy, but you ain't got to be here.
Sylvia,
the friend sort of gracefully, she sort of just gracefully bowed out. She was like, "You know what? This is a family event. I am not family right now."
I think she wanted to talk to Laura.
Probably.
I think that she knew that was the only way she could get to her, because you're not about to come meet me for drinks. Like, nope. I know you're going to be here. You can't really do too much because we in public. You know what I'm saying? I think I think a little bit of both of them want to throw it in her face. I think that's why Richard wanted her there. Richard wanted Sylvia there to hurt Laura. That's it.
Oh yeah, because there's no other reason you're gonna date your.
Ain't no other reason for you to be
friend.
Here. Ain't no other reason for you to be here.
So we forgot to mention that Davi's his aunts, and is that his grandmother?
His cousin, his aunt, and his cousin.
Okay, so we learned in the beginning that Davi is he was Caribbean. He was Caribbean, right? Caribbean and Irish.
His dad was Caribbean. His mom, somebody was Caribbean. His mom.
Well, the dad is
Irish
the dad, and the mom was Irish.
Sure,
but he grew up mainly in Ireland because he has that European accent. He has is it an Irish accent? I don't know.
Listen, he
sounds European.
He's soy milk latte, extra soy milk.
So his Irish family comes down to see his graduation, and they end up staying at Madea's house.
No, they're staying at the hotel. They just there all the time.
I thought they stayed at the house. They were going to the hotel, but then they pleaded with Madea and they said, "No, have them stay here."
No, they're staying at the hotel. They just stayed for like the barbecue, and they stayed for going to Red Lobster.
We have the element of his aunts and his cousin also in the picture. So we have these two white characters who are from Davi's side of the family, and Tim's family.
And that is a character from a BBC show. Like, he just put up those characters and plopped them on down. And it's so weird because that's I believe a cis man in makeup, the person who plays on
Really?
Agnes. Doesn't he look like a woman? I was like, that's a woman. And I ain't gonna lie, Madea looks good. The wigs and younger Madea. I was talking to my friend Brittany. She was like,
"Oh, that was so funny." That part was funny when she went into that flashback about how she knew Rosa Parks.
I'm gonna get you, Rosa. Get Rosa off the bus. And one thing I think a lot of people are saying, like, these are old jokes. I've never seen. I don't watch the stage plays. I don't think because how are we supposed to have access to the stage play? You just got to go, right? I don't
know. Maybe there's a copy. I don't know if they were selling them. I don't know how this works anymore.
I ain't got it. Okay. I don't have it, but I enjoyed Aunt Agnes and Cousin Kathy. I enjoyed Madea. Everything else, Laura's acting is brilliant. I think she does a great job. Tim, like I feel like the acting is solid. I feel like it's solid. Some of the stuff, like the editing, I mean, it reminded me of like some of the moments in A Fall from Grace, because in the opening scene when Brown is making the fire for the barbecue, the very first scene, we see the back of his pants are kind of tattered. And I'm like, I didn't recognize it until I went back and watched it the second time. And I was like, wait, his pants shouldn't be tattered right now. The fire hasn't happened yet. Some of the cutaways, not the cutaways, but the transitions, like when you end one scene and go to another, it feels very like kiddish. Like when they're on the basketball court and the next scene is about to happen, there are like 100 basketballs that bounce around, and then we move to the next scene.
Oh yeah, the scene. Yeah, they had it's like an animation type of thing.
Yeah, I was like,
animation with moving the scenes.
It felt like, why do you think that it?
Does he do that before?
I have not seen him do that in other films.
I didn't notice the animation.
It didn't. It brought a lot of attention to itself. When things like that happen, I'm like, what is the story you're trying to sell with that? What point are you trying to make? And sometimes I think it's you don't want to forget that this is a film, and this is a fun film. Like we're headed down some really serious territory. But I think that Madea does that so much on her own, where you have an iPhone in, it's supposed to be the 50s, but you recording Rosa Parks with an iPhone. I already know it's
and she mentioned that too. She was like, I'm gonna take this with my iPhone that ain't out yet, but it's okay.
Right. So, I'm like,
it's funny.
It's funny. So I don't need the kitty scene transitions. That just felt like y'all could have just cut to the fadeaway shot. I don't know what the fuck you doing.
How would you, I guess, compare Tyler Perry to other comedic actors? Like, would you consider him a comedic actor? Just a creator, or what?
I would consider him a comedic actor. I saw him in the film with Leonardo DiCaprio, the one that just came out on Netflix, Don't Look Up. I thought he did wonderful. I'm trying to remember him. I know that the film about the White House where he plays Colin Powell, that's not a comedy role, but I hear he does I think he does a great job. I think he's a good actor. I do. I think that he plays Madea wonderfully. I think he plays Uncle Joe wonderfully.
Yeah, he did a good job with Joe.
Yeah, I ain't got no problems. I think one thing about his Madea and his Uncle Joe is that they feel somewhat flat to me. So like when I'm thinking about Nutty Professor and Eddie Murphy and how he's playing like 8
He's playing all the characters, yeah.
There are some people who are like flat characters. And I think I'm thinking of especially the second film where you could take some medicine and you turn into a younger, more attractive version of yourself. And the father wants to take that and he wants to give it to the wife. And there's this conflict between them because she's saying like, we are old. We have to accept that. Why are you saying you're tired of me? Like, what is this? And so he learns, he changes as a result of that. She changes as a result of that. like these comedic characters who are there to like punch up the dialogue and like punch, like it's supposed to be nothing but laughs with them. Even with them, there are some like heartfelt moments. There's some character development. I don't necessarily see that with Tyler Perry. So the acting is amazing, but I feel like character development.
No, it's the same characters. Madea is the same Madea.
Yeah.
She has always gonna have her pistol,
Yes.
and always gonna say her witty lines. Uncle Joe, even Mr. Brown is the same Mr. Brown. Like he don't get too deep. Cora be the same. She be the same, just meek, mild person.
Yeah. One thing that Kid Fury from the Reeds said, he was like, I don't even understand why Cora deals with her family. like, and I get what he was saying. It's like, not necessarily deal with them, but why are you shocked? Like, Madea, what's going on? How could you like that? Like, girl.
Well, she was asking Madea to take the grocery bags, and Madea was like, no. And she kept asking her, I'm like,
come on, Madea, you know you could do this. It's like, girl, you know your mama ain't about to do that.
She is not carrying no grocery bags.
Why are y'all shocked that she shoots a warning shot when Richard touches her? Why are y'all shocked at this? Like, y'all really should have let him leave. Like, y'all really should have escorted him out that house.
So how would you rate this movie?
My film rating system is based on the food from Martin.
What? Okay.
So like the ultimate is like my mama's biscuits. Like that's the ultimate. You know, this is it's that frozen broccoli pop. That, you know,
would you recommend this movie, and to who would you recommend it to? Like what type of person?
I would recommend this film to someone who was cleaning up their house and they needed something on in the back.
You know what? I really, going back to Tyler Perry's core audience, I really think the 50 and up crew like this movie. Yeah. I would recommend this to my mama and my aunties because they would probably love it. My mom couldn't finish it. And my mom like in her 60s. But she wouldn't. She's not a Tyler Perry.
No,
girl, never.
No, my mom loved Peoples. My mom told me about Peoples before me and you started this podcast. Straight up, like that's my mom likes like stuff like that. And I think if I could recommend the 40-Year-Old Virgin, the white film to my mom, and she would laugh. She would definitely laugh. Okay. She can't do things that are ridiculous. She can't do things that don't make sense, and they're supposed to make sense. So like the question about like, oh, so this your daughter is a cop and she's not going to do anything to stop these two men from fighting. That doesn't make sense. This is silly. And the thing that I got caught up on, and maybe this is a little bit like nitpicky, but I'm like, okay, Gabrielle Dennis is this person's mother. This kid is like 22. It made me feel she had to be like 50. No, like I'm like, okay, was she like 15 when she had him? When did she and the dad get married? But then they were married. So I'm like, so when did they get married? And like I was caught up on that. I don't know. And I was like, that stuff like that gets me caught up. I'm like, I was like, she's not right for this role. But Gabrielle Dennis is 40. Yes, but for him being like 22, that'll put her as like a teen mom. I'm like, okay, so hold on, let me get what type of marriage was like? Did they get married when she turned 18? She was 18 when she had him. So yeah, maybe they got married at 19. Okay. Stayed together for, a good 10 years. That's the only thing that got me a little bit like, I'm like, okay, let's do the math here. Well, what got me was and even Cora being her mama, I'm like, okay. And I know in real life, Tamla Mann her kids are in their 30s and she has literally grandkids, but she don't have no 22-year-old grandkids. So I'm like, okay. Even Mr. Brown, who like they don't age him. No. So yeah, I don't know. What bothered me was I just wanted to see the conflict. Show me the conflict. Like I liked how Aunt Agnes was like, he needs to come here with us. What is he doing? Like he can't be with her. That's wonderful conflict that I want to see. I wanted to see how did this relationship with Richard and
How did it
Sylvia,
start?
how did it start? Does she know? Does Laura know? Is she just
How
acting
did
like she
relationship with
doesn't know?
Laura and Davy start? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Like, can we see it? Can we see it? We don't even see them. We don't even see them kiss. Who do we see kiss in the movie?
Nobody.
What's the rating? He wants to maintain a PG rating. That's the problem. No, there's too much
No, because
cursing
they
going
have
on.
profanity. Yeah, so it's not PG. And it had not a lot of profanity. Was
Yeah,
it? I'm
it's
gonna say
rated
it's
R.
MA or R.
It's rated R. What? Yeah, and all those nasty jokes Aunt Bam be saying, like,
Yeah,
Aunt Agnes was making nasty jokes talking about, she had the French kiss a bull, and he wanted more and stuff like that. But where was the intimacy
there is
between
none.
Davy and Laura, between Richard and Sylvia, between Bam and her man du jour? What is going on?
Now on to the Beyonce part.
Girl,
I thought that was funny. I cackled.
yeah. But don't you cackle at all of the Madea scenes?
It's most of them.
Look at my face. Girl, bye. Girl, I've literally spit my drink out. I was like, this is hilarious. But you know what else? I thought we have to do I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Like we have to find time to study that film. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, the mother in it. Have you seen I'm Gonna Get You Sucker?
Not the whole thing.
But do you know that the mother is like a amazing fighter? Like she can fight. She be boxing these niggas down. Like Damon Wayans and Kadeem Hardison come to her house to intimidate her. She beats them both up. Like she can fight. What I always found interesting about that is it's so unassuming. Like you wouldn't think like this lovely young lady or this lovely like middle-aged woman is just boxing people. She has like floral wallpaper and floral art prints, and I think the couch is a floral print, and there's like a lot of like really feminine energy in the house. And I'm like, why is that? Like, why did the set designer do this? And one reason is to be like, maybe to throw people off, like these are flowers, but these are paintings of flowers. These are images of flowers. Like, I'm not some soft little daisy. I will hurt you. You know what I'm saying? I noticed that like Medea's, other than the black dress that she wears in the flashback,
she go see Rosa Parks.
She's always in like a floral print.
She is
always in a floral print. And I thought, like that, maybe that's just
in a dress too.
And the dress.
Pants.
She never wears pants. And so that's another great thing. Like you would think for all her, like she does have like a liberated mindset in her like love for weed and her love for, like she's not afraid to carry a gun. Or maybe that's not liberated. But yeah, like,
but it might know,
yeah, because then I'm thinking her thinking is really conservative. So yeah, all of that, her thinking is super conservative. But yeah, I was wondering like why the floral gown always. I don't know. I don't have answers.
She could be, there are some people, especially older people, who it's like they can be liberal in their thinking, but there's always that one thing that's conservative. like, oh, I have to wear a dress to church. I will never go to church in
Right.
pants. Or like, you know, it's always that one thing that they just would never do. And it's like, okay, like, I guess that's your thing.
Yeah. I can
So
see
her
that.
thing is, you know, I don't care about, yes, I smoke weed, but I'm gonna be in this dress.
I will have a dress
My
on.
hair is gonna be curled. I'm gonna have rollers, like, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I'm
can
not
see
too
that.
crazy now.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Did you see them shorts when she was doing Marcella? I was like, ooh, Tyler Perry in them shorts. Had that hair going. What
Tyler
got
Perry
me
in that black dress.
Oh yes, that was hot. Homecoming, Marcella. It was cute.
It was cute. While you frying the fish or the banana flowers that you gonna call fish because you vegan, that you can have that on. You can have that on in the background. You will laugh. You will laugh. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions. Leave a review and tell us what you'd like for us to watch. And let's keep the convo going on Instagram. You can find us at Curry Gumbo. Be well. Happy watching. Love y'all. Bye.